west side of hell because you can't go get an abortion, you can't help anybody, you can't tell anybody, you can't do anything. But you can't do anything but what they want you to do. And in the state of Alabama, you get pregnant, you're gonna have that baby. I don't care if it's from your daddy, from your brother, from your uncle, from somebody you didn't even know. You got to have that baby. And I talk about this all the time because as long as you, as long as they keep talking crazy like that, we got to counterpunch. We got to say, we have to stand up for human health rights. And that's what it is, a human health right. You don't have the right to tell somebody what to do with their body. You don't have the right to tell somebody who they can love and who they can't love because you disagree with it. You know what I had heard? I had heard that thou protest too much. So why you all jumping up and down? Why you scared of gay people? Mm-hmm. Why would they upset you? You know, why are you protesting so much? Is it deep down inside? You know, because I think if people were really honest with themselves, they would all say they might have had a fantasy like that. You know, and they just decided that that wasn't what they want to do, or they want to be whatever the case is. You still don't get to tell somebody what they can do with their persons and their pieces parts. That's none of your business. You know, they really, and you know, we got to stop pretending that it is your business. It is not your business. You know, when you think about it, even with a corrupt Supreme Court, they are corrupt as I don't know what. Oh, I went off on a tangent on that part. But for them to just say, well, we're not going to overturn Roe v. Wade, we'll just give it back to the states and let them decide. So you could technically have 50 different sets of rules for what it means to have your health care taken seriously and not have to be beaten up like this and told if you help somebody with an abortion, if you administer the health care that they need, that they've asked for. You know, the other day, the 45th said, I couldn't believe this. He was talking to the lady on Meet the Press, and she asked him about something, and he said, "Well, you know, they want to murder babies in the seventh month, ninth month after birth, after birth. You can't abort a baby that's already here, really." And this is the guy that you all are looking up to. I'm just saying, because it's a lot of we have to take responsibility for our actions and for what we say and for what we do. And I don't know how the 6 chief justices of the Supreme Court can sit up there on their high horse, knowing they have a job for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives, they have a job. They're going to get the best medical care possible, and this is what they're doing. They have literally just ripped to shreds the integrity of the Supreme Court. And you know they are, and they know. These are jurists. These are the Supreme Court judges. You can't get to be a Supreme Court judge and don't understand the law. And when you do, you think you know how to skirt it. Okay, Clarence Thomas, we found out that he'd been taking multi-million dollars from billion-dollar donors. $1 billion running all kind of stuff, taking them on vacations and, you know, paying for, you know, now this was really good. Evidently they don't have any children, Clarence and his wife. And so one of his billionaire donors paid for his, I think his great nephew's tuition, you know, bought his mama a house, you know, I guess it would be okay if you are not a Supreme Court justice, but come to find out they're all doing underhanded stuff, you know, not recusing themselves on cases that they're hearing because somebody has given them money over here, or bought them a boat or a yacht or whatever they've done. They're doing this and you know, helping their family, and they don't seem to be. It's like they're impenetrable. You know, they're doing this. What they're doing, I know, is illegal, and if nothing else, it's unethical. At the least, it's unethical. You know, and they're not going to jail for unethical work. You know, they're still sitting on the bench, doing what they want to do, traveling like they want to travel, not recusing themselves of, you know, from these cases that they shouldn't even be sitting in, and they know they have a vested interest in them. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just confused. I'm just as confused as you are. But then I think they have that, you know, on purpose to keep us confused. Every day is something new. Every day. Okay. Even today, Even on today, thank goodness this happened, but I don't know how this the situation with Iran, where they released five prisoners that had been there at least 5 years in prison. Three of the Americans, they said, had been there more than 5 years in prison, and they released them for what they got was $6 billion, right? $6 billion that South Korea was holding for them, and like, I guess since they were holding the people hostage or in jail, that's what there is. And $6 billion, that the South Koreans are holding for them, when they release them. So they released them, and then they let the funds go, and with the stipulation that all $6 billion must be used for humanitarian resources, must be used as humanitarian resources. So they're coming from Iran to the United States. They left Qatar, I guess, yesterday or today. I know it's like a bazillion hours earlier behind us. And they are coming to Washington, D.C. I'm glad that they've released them. And was it a $6 billion bribe? And why did the U.S. get involved? Because it was Americans? Okay. What kind of stuff are we doing? We don't want people to know about. I'm just asking. Sometimes I just want to know what the Sam heck is going on. What are we doing? What are we doing? And we're asking different questions or new questions that we can't seem to answer. I want to know how politicians and business people don't understand what woke means. Governor Ron DeSantis down there in Florida has no idea what woke means. People say that Florida is where wokeness goes to die. Okay, if you don't know, there's an antonym for woke. That's asleep. So if you're woke, that means you were asleep about some issues, some things that you didn't see were going on, and now that you're awake and you're alert and these have been presented to you, and you can make a sound decision so that you understand that you're awake and you see. It's like pulling the wool over the wool being pulled over our eyes, and then we're asleep. Then the wool is pulled back, and now we're awake. And we know we can see where we're going. We can see what we're doing. We can see who's surrounding us. So we're woke. So I don't understand why DeSantis doesn't understand what woke means. Well, it's clear he does not. I know you've seen the State Farm commercial with Patrick Mahomes in it with the British guy for the phone company, and he's like in practice, and they're pushing him on the things that the guys use to strengthen and push back on other people, and he came over to Patrick Mahomes, and he hugged him. And he said, "Let's let's huddle up." And Patrick said, and he hugs Patrick, by the way. So Patrick says, "You don't know what a huddle means, do you?" He goes, "No, I don't." DeSantis, he doesn't know what woke means. And if you don't know what that means, should you be running for anything when you don't know the difference between woke is asleep? And you seem to be upset that people are awake. You told the young people in your state, the public school people, you told school teachers, you told kids who love books that they don't need to read certain books because it's going to give them a distorted view. And we don't want our children to be upset if they learn about slavery and the importance of Black history. I'll just say, African-American history is no big deal. And remember slavery, listen, they learned a skill. They became blacksmiths, and they became seamstresses, and they could become milliners, so slavery did give them a skill. The skill to be patient, the skill to understand. They know not what they do. To sit up and let it come out of your mouth publicly that you think you can justify changing history. That it's what happened yesterday. And you guys come into today, into the present, and bring stupid from yesterday right in with you. You ever thought about why it's called the present? Because the past is over. The present is your gift. Remember, we get presents for our birthday and Christmas according to your beliefs, and I can celebrate any day that has a Y in it, so I can get presents like every day. And since this is the present, why you keep dragging it back? And why you keep lying about it? We know the difference. It doesn't make us look bad. It make you look stupid. It make you sound stupid. It make your wife look stupid because she won't tell you. Don't say that stupid stuff, honey. Don't say that out in public. We got children. Don't tell them that they can't learn. All learning is fundamental. You can learn from a kid. You can learn from anybody. Good, bad, or indifferent. And to tell children, and especially little white children, that you don't need to know about Black history. You don't need to know about Native American history. You don't need to know about South American history. You don't need to know about anybody's story but yours. You're for and no more. Everybody else is are irrelevant. So how do you think your children are going to have the skill set to survive in a society run by politicians who are doing this bat crap crazy stuff? It's just not going to work. As everybody's jumping up and down talking about, President Biden is too old. He's 80, the 45th. Oh, he's got all his cognitive skills. Okay, this is a guy that said Biden was going to start World War II that ended in 1945. Shut up, mother love. But that's what he said. It came out of his mouth, and it was just bizarro. And that's why I was like, if he thought he won the election in 2020, what would make him think he can run a third time? You can't have it like 7 ways to Sunday. You got to pick a side. You got to pick a lie, pick a truth. The truth ain't in that one, and a whole bunch of other ones. And to watch all of this unfold, it is really waking up. Talk about woke. Whoa, especially in Florida, woke. David Hall, go down there and open up a can, or you know what, on their natural behind. He's got a campaign going to get young people involved into political arenas, to get them to run for local offices, to run on the school boards, to run for city council, to run for aldermen, to alderwomen, to run for seats in their state, in their communities. Get in there and do something, because if this is the best thing. They won't live forever. Their memory will live forever. What they did will live forever. And it's a shame a lot of them will become footnotes. I mean, how many people know or remember who Benedict Arnold was and what he did at the beginning of the making of the United States of America? And when you hear, you're a Benedict Arnold, means you're a traitor. And a lot of them are Benedict Arnolds. You can Google it. Go ahead, Google it. You know what it is. Just Google it. We could just keep letting them just roll over and just make dumb statements. Why do we give so much attention to so much negativity? Well, you know what they say in the media. If it bleeds, it leads. Well, this is breaking, and we are breaking down very quickly. We seem to be losing what the fundamentals of what America is and who she is. I mean, even with our tore from the floor up, jacked up, racist, homophobic, transphobic, religiophobic, whatever kind of phobic you want to have, we are still a great country. And we know we can do better than this. And I suppose like any growth, you're going to have growing pains. And those growing pains now that are facing people in their 70s and 80s, something that they wanted to keep pushed back in the back corner in the room in the dark with no light bulb, and don't say anything about it. Just ignore the light coming from up under the bottom of the door. You don't need to go in there and see what's going on there. Don't go in there. That's no business. You stay out of there. You do what we tell you to do. Okay, but then when we want to tell you what to do, what happens? We don't get to tell you what to do. Yes, we do. And that's where you're wrong. You're not going to live forever. And we're going to need the young people, and we're going to need them full with the truth, with ethics, with self-control, with a wherewithal of the knowledge that they are here for a reason. Not one of us are here for just willy-nilly. We all have a mission. We all have an assignment. Some of us don't want to do it because they look too hard, too much. Mother love don't understand. I don't want to do it in case somebody else do it. I don't want to be responsible. I have that. I have that same feeling. I don't want to be an adult. That's why I'm not an adult. I'm a adult. I still got some kid stuff left in me. I was told with a big high compliment, I was really goofy. I know, because I'm the queen of Goofy Land. Ask my kids, ask my grandchildren. I'm the queen of Goofy Land. I'm not taking it serious, not too serious. Who is coming out of life alive? Not your behind. So why wouldn't you do the best that you can do so that you do not become a footnote in history, not in your family, not to yourself, not to the world? There's a reason for you to be here. Buck up and realize what it is. Okay, some of us are, advocates. Some of us are out there standing on the front lines. And speaking of front lines, I just want all my brothers and sisters and SAG after and all the members of the Writers Guild who are out there fighting for your life, fighting for your livelihood. I am so proud of you all. I shouldn't say you all. I'm a member of SAG after and as well. And I will not cross the picket line. I mean, people are fighting for our lives. We're fighting for our livelihood. And the studios and the production houses, they're making all this money. They tell us, oh, we're blockbuster movies. We're making billions and billions of dollars. It's 160 something thousand of us with both of the unions and SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild. So you mean to tell me it would just like break your back if you decided that if you saw the work of your the people that work for you that help that make you make these billions of dollars. I mean, you can't. Well, now they said you could do it. That's why we're fussing about artificial intelligence, because they want to put in, okay, hypothetically speaking, my mother love name, my image, my likeness, and my voice. And they could tell a computer AI, okay, make me a TV show about mother love. And this is for mother love. And what do you need me for? Okay, who's going to watch it? Who's going to advertise on an AI show, go to an AI generated movie, simply because you can make it look pretty? I wouldn't do that. I mean, to me, it's like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. The producers and these major entertainment conglomerates, and then they're allowed to buy up all the little ones, Paramount, and they own something else, and this one owns this one, and they own all these other streaming services that they want us to pay extra for. When people are squeaking by, they're barely able to pay the cable bill and the phone bill and the internet bill. Plus, they got to pay the rent, the light bill, the gas bill, the water bill, keep food on the table. The kids are growing like weeds. You buy them a pair of shoes for the school year, and by the time Thanksgiving comes, they cannot wear those shoes, and you got to go and get another pair or 2 or 3 pair. And so we're bogging each other down over stupid stuff. It's just money. If it were rocks, it would be the same thing, whatever we're trading. They're trying to get rid of the dollar and come in with Bitcoin. I was kind of suspect about anything you say bit, because 2 bits is 6 bits is $1, 2 bits is 50 cents, or however 4 bits. A Bitcoin is like a quarter. So I think I would want to have my money in money. And we don't even see it anymore. We went to the bank. Well, you don't even have to go to the bank. You can have direct deposit. You don't never even have to see your paycheck. You never have to see your money. You can automatically pay everything. So you're just working out there in the ether. And whenever you get paid on the 15th and the 30th, or the 1st and the 15th, a lot of people don't even see the money. I got direct deposit only because I don't feel like going out to the bank. It got 2 people for me. And it is a convenience. I got to tell you, I was not into online banking and shopping online, because once you get into that, that's why Amazon is doing so well. But we are the ones who are making Amazon feel well. We're the ones that make the studios make these movies. I mean, because just on a talk show, just on one talk show, you're on television 5 days a week, and I know this from experience. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 147 people on the staff in the crew. That's counting myself. That's 146, and it's 147 of us working on one show. 147 households affected by one show. Think about a film. Think about even something bigger. Blue Bloods. I love Blue Bloods. I love all the procedural shows. But think about them. They're very expensive to produce, and they only come on 1 day a week. Talk shows and reality shows are the least expensive product programming to create. Who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy them? Who's going to buy, what they're advertising on an artificially intelligent TV show? And what's that going to look like? Is it going to look like what is the Transformers where the cars turn into big giant robots? And they got all these crazy, to me, crazy movies about, us ruining the earth and, blowing up, and they want to looking for a child this little baby could change the world. I mean, I'm all for some fantasies. Don't get me wrong. I loved Avatar, both of them. I did. I like when my imagination can take me places that I didn't even know I could be and enjoy them. We got to move along with the times. I get that. But we are humans. And we are first human beings. And we are humans that program the artificial intelligence. If it were human intelligence, when they call it HI instead of AI, they let us know it's artificial intelligence. Really? I'm just wondering what that would look like. They got, I know you guys know this. I'm so late behind with the internet stuff and all you can do. I'm learning, though. It's a slow process. Emojis. And they asked me, the emoji. No, what is the other one? The avatars. You can have avatar. So they have one of me, and most of the avatars, your head is like this big, right? And I got a little bitty, teeny, tiny head. And so when I saw it, I was like, that kind of looks like me when I was like 15, so I kind of went with it, even though I said, I don't look like that now. That's what I look like today. I look really good, I think. And those of us who are baby boomers, we're looking really good. So don't we want the next generation behind us and their generation? Because I'm looking at the elders over me and my family. And then it's us. And then it's our children. And then our children are having children so that we're grandparents. Our elders over us are great-grandparents and grand-grandparents. So, I mean, technically, I could live to see a 7th generation. Not live to see them. I could live to see that there were 7 generations of us. At one time in our family, in our lineage, there were 6 generations of us living at one time. Wasn't for a long time, but we said, this probably will never happen in most of our lifetimes. And this is when I started a tradition with our family. Take the new babies and take them and introduce them to the eldest member of our family. I remember we took our first 2 grandchildren to Ohio to meet my husband's 103-year-old aunt. She didn't recognize him, but she sure recognized me. She said, "That's Mother Love." And my husband said, "You don't know me? I'm Amy. I'm your nephew." She was like, okay, but that's Mother Love. So we knew that she still had a lot of her cognitive skills. And when we took the kids to meet her, and she was able to sit up with a 3.5-year-old, 4-year-old boy, and a 18-month-old little girl on her lap, and she was able to hold them and smile. I wanted them to know and to see. When I've shown them the pictures before, they said, "Well, who was that?" I said, "That was at the time our oldest living relative." And they were like, "How old is she?" I said, "She was 103. She died when she died, I think, that following year, right before her 104th birthday." And start traditions in your family. Make sure your kids know where you come from and give it to them honest. Don't be like the governor down there in Florida telling kids that you don't need to know this stuff because it's not going to be helpful to you. And it will. If you don't know where you come from, you're going to be hard pressed to know where you're going. Fella told me just the other day, he said, "You got to walk like you're going somewhere." Mr. Mims, thank you. I'm never going to forget that. He said, "You got to walk like you're going somewhere." I said, "You walk like you're going someplace and know you're going to get to that place. And it's going to be a good place." Like Richard Pryor said, when you running through hell, just keep running. Just keep running so you can get on the other side of it. And I know we can get on the other side of this. I know we can be better to ourselves. We could take responsibility for our health. Yeah, that is your responsibility. I know you don't think it is, but it really is. You're the only one that can, work with that and fix it. And I'm talking about the things that we can control. Genetically, we can't control none of that. That was mom and dad and mom. That was their thing. That's our genetic makeup. That's where we come from. And you gotta know. I mean, when you know you do not have to smoke cigarettes, don't do it. And this is coming from a 20-year former smoker. I've now been a former smoker longer than I smoked, and I smoked for 20 years. And I'm a really good smoker. A pack of cigarettes could last me 3 or 4 days, and I've seen people go through a pack of cigarettes in like half a day. Uh, and so I was like, and it came down to monetary. I moved to California. They wanted $2.12 for a pack of cigarettes, and I'm like, if you know anything about Capricorn, we're not wasting no money if we don't have to. And so I was like, no, I left the cigarettes on the counter and kept it moving. We don't have to smoke cigarettes. We don't have to overeat. We make the choice, and I am in this group, I know, of sitting down and getting too comfortable sitting down and not getting up and walking more. Even if it's to walk around a mall, if they're still in the open, with all the online stuff. Because it seems like eventually we won't see malls. We won't have malls anymore. And just think of the elders that are that are ahead of you, and all the things that they've seen. And they're still standing strong, and they're still fighting for change. And they're still, people are still fascinated. My mother and grandmother, they never got to see, but they put in us the will to see, the will to do better, the will to get involved in politics, because they said they used to say, one day we'll ever have a colored person for president. And then they got, what if we'll ever have a Negro? What if we'll ever have a Black person? What if we'll ever have an African American? And once they got the African American, then we got two-term President Barack Hussein Obama. Thank you for your service, sir. And thank you to your wife and your family for sharing you with us. I do. And we can see that. Some people that are like in their 80s and 90s said, I would have never thought I saw it. I'm glad I lived to see this happen. I'm glad I got to see that a woman's right to choose what to do with her body, to become a constitutional right, and then have it snatched away. And we have to fight tooth and nail to get it back. And the way we fight tooth and nail is we fight pen and ballot box. We go into the ballot box and we say, yay. We say, nay. We don't want this. We don't want that. We want this. We need that. We need this. And the first thing we got to do is learn that we are responsible for our space. And then you can go out and help other people in their space. You got to get comfortable in yours. And a lot of politicians, it seems like they just coming up with some crazy stuff to say. Senator Blackburn asked Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, could she define what a woman is? I'm like, you need a definition for woman? Woman is opposite of man. That's an acronym. Man, woman. We are opposite. That's what defines a woman. People have said that, how do you define a woman? Well, with Justice Brown, she said, no, I can't. She said, I'm not a biologist. I'm a jurist. I was like, and she did it with so much dignity and grace. And it seems like to me, a lot of people, especially that are stuck in the past, are just shaking in their boots at the browning of America, at women getting more educated and men feeling like, oh, they're not even needed. I say this all the time. Men talking women, she emasculates me. She makes me feel less than a man. I don't know a man that can make me feel less than a woman. I know I'm a woman. And I'm gonna tell you what the difference between a man and a woman. Check this one out. The difference between a man and a woman. I could have a master's degree, say in engineering, and we're going for an interview, and there's a guy in there, and he's got a master's in engineering. We have the exact same credentials, could do the exact same job. We get hired at the exact same time, and not with the exact same pay. Okay. You know that a woman makes 80 cents on the dollar to a man. That's 20 cents a dollar. So we're still getting only 80% of what especially when you're doing the same job. Now, everybody, we don't live in a socialist society yet, where people can work and, say what they want their worth to be. We don't, personally, and I work in the entertainment industry, I think it's kind of crazy to pay me, okay, no, I don't get exorbitant money like that. but to pay me more than you would pay a school teacher who is going to change. Well, I believe I change people's lives too for the better. A teacher changes people's lives. And I've been told I'm a teacher and I do teach people, how to get unstuck off of stupid pause, don't ignorant, park, don't dumb. Come on, baby. Let me just give you a little push. Sometimes that's all you need, a little push. And you can, and people see this in you, and we know that you can achieve great things. You have to know this. And sometimes when you don't know it and somebody shows it to you, don't just throw it out. They could be helping you open the door to the best part of your life. Don't shrug it off. That's why I'm saying I can learn from everybody. I learned from these little girls, identical twins. So I'm the Christmas fairy. I'm Santa's helper in the hood. So we go to the hospitals and the communities, centers, and the Boys and Girls Club. And I got this big, ginormous Christmas stocking, and we stuff it full of toys. And we have a collaboration with the toy companies and a lot of the doll with their toys. And so anyway, we go, and I'm on a fire truck, right on a fire truck in the Christmas parade, and these little girls, just as cute as they could be, and so I was saying, these are my fairy wings. They went, those are not fairy wings, mother love. I said, what you mean they're not fairy wings? The other one piped in, oh, those are butterfly wings. That's not fairy wings. That's butterfly wings. And I was like, oh. So, all wings are not created equal. So I went and looked it up, and I was like, they were absolutely right. Those were not fairy wings. They were butterfly wings. And I learned from them the difference between fairy wings and butterfly wings. And butterfly wings are real. And fairy wings are wings that were just, whimsical. And I was like, okay, that was really great. And I will always remember them. I remember a lot of kids, and kids can, kids are not stupid, and I don't know why, for the life of me, why the governor of Florida actually got up and said that he didn't think the white kids of Florida in the public school system needed to know about Black history. They need to know about critical race theory. No, because they're not going to law school. They're in public school. They don't teach critical race theory until like your second or third year in law school. So they just pulled that one out the back of their neck somewhere. And sitting up there talking about something, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to tell you. My brain is moving faster than my mouth. We're sitting up there not wanting to take responsibility again. But I was going to tell you something else. It'll come back to me. I'll think about it in the middle of the night. Honey, I was like this on. Just, it goes like that sometimes, And back to the question that a senator asked a sitting Supreme Court justice, could she define a woman? What makes her a woman? You got a uterus. Men don't have uteruses. You got breasts. Men don't have, men have breasts, but they can't lactate. They can't make baby milk out their breasts. They might have man boobs. We've seen that. But their boobs are not leaking, milk to say, to nurture a child, and to not think that, the slave trade in the United States did more for white people and more for white men. Because remember, white women used to be thought of as property too. They used to say our ancestors were, 3/5 human, and women were like half human, half. I mean, it was just stupid stuff that you would even consider to do that. What makes a woman? What makes a woman? Hormones for one thing. What makes a woman? She doesn't make as much money as a man does and have the same skill set. What makes a woman? She can have, wait a minute, they had a song, they said, I'm just a woman. I can go bring home the bacon fried up in a pan and never ever make you forget you a man, because I'm a woman. I'm strong. Hear me roar. And we are roaring. And we got to continue to teach our youngsters, our young ladies to roar, and our young men to roar, and to understand that you too have a voice. On our 18th birthday, when we were growing up, everybody on your 18th birthday, you could have one or the other. You could have your favorite breakfast or your favorite dinner. And the first thing you had to do after you got up and, shower, shampooed, and shine, and, if your birthday was in the wintertime, you put on your stuff, you had your breakfast, you got your spoon of cod liver oil, whatever, and you went out and you went to register to vote. All of us did. I have never, ever missed a local election. I've never missed a state election. I've never missed a federal election, And I won't. Because as long as I got breath in me, I exercise my right to vote. It is a right to vote. All 18-year-olds have a right to vote in this country, well, unless you're a felon. And even some people that went to jail, you can get your voting rights restored. They got programs. Oh, call the ACLU. They can help you. They can help, and that's what they want you to think. Well, you're a felon, you're a criminal. You can never vote again. You will never be considered a whole citizen like ever again. You can never be redeemed. And you can never be forgiven because we're going to hold this over your head because you're going to be our puppet and do what we say. And you got to learn to be able to discern what is right and what is wrong. And asking somebody, can you define a woman? Yeah, we can. Can you define woke? Yeah, we can. Can you define stupidity? Yeah, we can. Speaking of stupid. Okay. So a police persons, they, they park their car. This is the police, y'all. You can't get to. The police officer parked their car on an active train track. And people were in the car, and a train ran them over. So how stupid is that? I mean, even kids know you don't park a bus or a car or anything on a train track, an active train track, unless you're trying to commit suicide. Who puts a car on a train track? Unless you're looking to get hurt. And if your car stop or your bus stop on a track, you evacuate immediately. I drove a school bus for 5.5 years. They're my babies. I love them. Even when they see me when I go back to Ohio, they still say, that's Mother Love, my bus driver. I'm like, okay. All right, wait, no, that's who I am, that bus driver. And they, even they know you don't stop a bus or stop anything on an active train track. And this is the police officer. And then we got elected officials asking justices, can they define a woman? And they're just all over the place with this. No wonder our gay community, especially our young people in the gay community, are being maligned and are so confused. And this was something else that was terrible. I read that the young people, they say between 13 and 18 years old, who are on the gay spectrum, and it's a lot, it's the lesbian, bisexual, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, Q plus questioning plus. Okay, they say that they did this research that said that young people who are on the spectrum in any one of those sections, in any one of those places, from 13 to 18 are dealing with serious mental health struggles. Not knowing where they fit in society, being maligned because they love somebody who looks like them, and then what if you got a whole bunch of stuff, like a black transgender male who is ostracized simply because she wants to live her life as a woman. She could live as a woman, and genetically, we got 2 X's. Fellas don't have 2 X's. That would make you a woman. I'm just going by my science class. That's what they said. And we are different. And there are things that make us different. A man's heart is bigger than mine. Your heart is as big as your fist, And some of them, even the men, they might have little tiny hands, so they got a little tiny heart. I'm just saying, so there are differences. And there are differences in the way that we behave, the way that we interact with each other. That doesn't take away from your humanity under any circumstances. And that's first what we have to understand. These are members of our society. These are children. They have parents. They have grandparents. They have friends, people that love them anyway, in spite of themselves. And I can understand that because people love me in spite of myself, not because of myself. They love me in spite of myself. And that's a big deal to me, because that means I can take you how you present yourself. We got a lot of gay people in our family, in our community. I mean, I don't care what you do when your panties is off. That's your personal business. I don't care. You're not hurting anybody. You're not hurting yourself. Will embrace you. I don't like mean people. I don't like bullies. I don't like these bourgeoisie people who think it's my way or the highway. You do what I tell you to do because simply because I said so. I'm like, really? And see, I was really not. I could play well. I can still play well with others. I just question a lot of authority. I still question authority to this day. You're looking at the chicken, talking to the chicken, hearing the chick that got kicked out of Sunday school. You know it's bad when you 6 and you get kicked out of Sunday school because sister could not answer your question. Plain and simple. And I was called a little red heifer. She said, "You little red heifer, get up." And I said, I know y'all saying, "Well, what did you say?" You remember? I remember what I said. I raised my hand. Sister church lady, um, okay, if God is God all by himself, well then who is us? Because it said let in the Bible and just let us make men and let us make man in our own image after our own likeness. And God made man in his own image and his own likeness. So I thought that, our and yours, in it's a collaborative. So all I said was, okay, who is us? And you know how when a kid asks another question, you go, and they can see you have no idea what you can say because you don't know the answer to that. And I said, I'm just asking a question. And that would be the one that would get me in trouble. Not that I asked it. And I would say, I'm just asking a question. I just want to know. And she said, "You little red heifer, get up, get up. You going up here to the pastor's office." And I was like, "Is he going to tell me?" "Sure, I'll go to the pastor's office." I went to the pastor's office and they left me sitting there till Sunday school was over. My mama had to come and get me. And she said, "Now, explain to me how you got put out of Sunday school." So I tell my mama how I got put out of Sunday school. And she said, well, that's a valid question. When I would ask her questions and she didn't know the answer, she would always say, "Baby, I don't know the answer to that, but let us go find out." And we would get up and put our coats on and jackets or whatever, wherever the question came from. And we would go to the library. I've had a library card since I was probably in elementary school. And we would go to the library. She said, "Let's go to the library and we'll find out together." She would have been awesome if she had been around for the internet. Oh my God. It was something. That's something that they won't get to see, that we get to see and experience. And we've got to be able to stand up and show and be accountable. We have to be able to look one another in the eye. And everybody's not going to tell the truth. That's why they don't want to look in the eye. See, if they can't look in the eye, I think that's a problem. That's just me. I'm just asking. We're concerned about the mental health of all of our children. We got a commercial running out here in California. I don't know if it's running in your neck of the woods, as Al Roker would say, that says that children have stress-related anxiety and that it starts building up when they're kids. So they really don't have a proper coping mechanism. And I was like, childhood stress. That could come from, your parent being a helicopter parent. That could come from, see, we didn't have helicopter parents. Our parents had to go to work. We were latchkey kids. My sisters and brothers were latchkey kids. I never had a key to my mother's house because she said, "I want to know when you coming in. I want to hear you coming in because you walk too soft when you try to sneak in the house." I'm like, "Well, would you put the wagon with the clothes in front of the door? I was going to fall over it." Okay, so it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I was 16. Okay, that was the problem. Flashback. I'm back. We just have to learn to love one another. Learn to love yourself and know that yourself is all right to be loved. And if you don't, you need to start making some changes. That's all I'm saying. You need to start making some changes because the world is going to keep changing with you in it or not. So let's make sure you leave some good footprints. Make sure you leave a smile on somebody's face when they think about you, when you dance across their heart. Make it a good day for you and everybody around you. Know that I love you, babies, and ain't nothing y'all can do about this mother loving you. I'm just saying. This is why we got to keep going. We just got to keep it moving. Just keep it moving, people. Peace.